On ours.
Okay. All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
We want to start out by giving all praise and glory unto
Yahweh
Ba'Shem
Ba'Shem
Yahweh.
Hashem Hakodash.
Double honors to the apostle and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the Akim out there pushing the word of sincerity and the truth. It's the brothers here from Great Millstone, Atlanta. Myself, Barzal.
The brother Zakaria.
I'm the brother Cassida.
Yeah, and we just want to do a follow up. Which we were talking about. Me and this brother, Cassida, did a lesson on Russia being raised up, and we were just not discussing before we cut on the camera, and the brother Zakaria was speaking about actually doing the lesson pertaining to the same matters. So we were just talking in the spirit, and just we wanted to do a lesson, showing and putting emphasis on how Russia is really gearing up for this battle. They're not half stepping, they're not second guessing with their what they want to do in this war. They're not even looking to actually come to peace and come to grips with America. That's why, with a few months really into type in when did BRICS get started, Boba Shah. That might have been early, like last year or something. I might be wrong, but they was building up the BRICS nations, you see, which was pretty much an economic treaty which consisted of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa to combat the EU, and that waxed successfully amongst Russia and the constituents that was associated, to the point where you have European nations that's looking to associate with the forces that are coming against the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going into the prophecy of Revelation, the 17th chapter, where it says, "These shall hate the war."
Mm-hmm.
You had what was a Frexit, which was France, and you also had a Brexit. I don't know if France fully left the EU, but there was always speculation of these different nations getting out of their ties with that economic union of the European Union, which we know of today as the EU.
Mm-hmm. EU.
You got that? Okay.
This is from BBC.com. It says in 2006, Brazil, Russia, India, and China created the BRICS group. South Africa.
And what was that? What year was that?
2006.
2006. Okay, so 2006 it was actually established, but it really started to get very, very heavy in the news really like last year. Sometime, I remember us brothers were speaking very, very heavily on it, about how they pretty much have all their pieces aligned to come aggressively against the United States.
Mm-hmm.
What did it say?
It said, continue on, it says South Africa joined in 2010, making it BRICS. The group was designed to bring together the world's most important developing countries to challenge the political and economic power of the wealthier nations of North America and Western Europe.
See? And that's plain as day. Like I said, you had a South African president, I forget his name, one of the South African presidents. He was speaking about how it's countries that's constantly looking to join BRICS. Like the phone is always ringing, with other ambassadors and things of that nature that's looking to pretty much be amongst that economic unification, because they understand that the West is falling. They have analysts, they have economists, they have individuals that study the market, and they understand that this is the mistress of witchcraft of how they created even this financial reserve system, which is known as the Federal Reserve, this fiat currency, which is the United States currency. All right. And it's aggressively falling, and you see that these enemy nations, like the scripture says, the weak saying that I'm strong, and that's on an economic level as well as on a military level.
I actually had that too on Barzal.
Okay, yep, you got it.
Yeah, this is Joel 3, and I'm gonna just start at verse 9. It says, "Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war," which we're in the time of war. I know Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter. It has like a list of different times and seasons, all right? And we're in the time and also the season of war, okay? And Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, he's a power of war, for those who don't know, all right? That the whole world inwardly called God and Jesus Christ. And that's why all these things are taking place, according to prophecy. Continue on, it says, "Wake up the mighty man," all right? Mighty man as in, warriors, soldiers, okay? Your high-ranking military leaders. It says, "Let all the men of war draw near," which we're currently seeing. Okay, I know Barzal and I and Kasaida was all talking about it before the lesson, how Russia basically sent those missile ships, those nuke ships over there on the coast of Cuba. All right, and that's really a war move, okay, and war talk in a way. It says, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up, and really draw near and come up in the land of the Valley of Jehoshaphat, which we're about to get into later. It says
verse 2. It said in verse 2.
Yeah, it says in verse 2. And then
with that word Jehoshaphat, it's Yahweh's judgment.
Yahweh Shaphat.
Yahweh Shaphat. All right, which is the Middle East. That's why so much turmoil that's going on in the Middle East as we speak. You know, there's tension that's already risen, but there's more tensions that's rising as far as Israel and those Arab nations. Scriptures speak about in the book of Genesis how Ishmael is a wild man, but which wild in terms being the opposite of domesticated is untamable. So these Arab nations, you know, as well as, you know, Iran, you know, and Elam and Iran, they're at the point where, and they've kind of always been at that point where they're not bending over for the West. You know, especially if they have higher options to pretty much satisfy their economy and actually live somewhat peaceably amongst the nations. That's why, like we just said, they're running to Russia, which the scriptures speak about how Russia is going to be a guard, like a big brother, you know, against the West, because the West is a country that goes about being a bully in these different land masses, bringing about democracy, bringing about illicit drug use. Hell, they had it, I think, I forget the Middle Eastern country, but it was around a time where it was a deployment and they had poppy seeds, which poppy can convert into opium, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So when they actually was getting a lot of those poppy seeds throughout the Middle East, the drug use rate of those illicit drugs started to skyrocket in that area as well as in the U.S. You know, so we know that this devil, when he comes to these different land masses, like the scripture says, need to keep it at home. He's not coming looking to reestablish something that's wicked. They'll put a fake boogeyman just to establish a puppet government, and really the so-called white man is the true boogeyman. You know, he just uses psychology and he uses the media for propaganda, which the word propaganda means to spread throughout. And he'll make these Arabs the face of terrorism, as well as these other nations the face of terrorism, so that he can invade their land and steal their natural resources. Man.
Come on.
You got it.
Verse 10. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks, into spears.
Right. So you have plowshares, pruning hooks, which are agricultural instruments. And if you look at the United States budget, mass majority of money is not being allocated towards agriculture; it's being allocated towards the military spending. You know, a lot of the budget, taxpayers' dollars, is not being geared towards feeding them with more nutrition. It's to elevate their hypersonic missiles, and that's really with all these nations. All these nations, their biggest budget is towards the military. You know, and the budget is going to get wider because war is on the horizon. It takes a lot of time to create this ammunition. This firepower does not get created overnight. You know, creating these hypersonic missiles and you know, these high artillery weapons, then it costs a lot of money. You know, I've seen a chart where they would actually do like a ship, like a I would say like a, I don't know the exact type of instrument, but it was a weapon that shot like a single bullet, but it was a big ass bullet just on the ship, boom, and then it has the number like $1,000 or $10,000 per shot. You know, so this Third World War, which is also something to be spoken of, is going to be the most expensive world war of all wars. The amount of money that went towards World War II and World War I was in the trillions, if I'm not mistaken, if not the high billions.
Yeah, you're right. I think we actually went into it in the class, you know, and I have a precept for you too. It's Isaiah 54 and verse 16. It says the brother was going into how they're consistently making these different instruments, and you know, Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua is allowing this to happen to bring forth prophecy. All right, Esau's not creating these instruments to, you know, to be nice or as if something sweet. No, it was created to destroy. Okay, because we're coming into the day, all right, that it shall burn as an oven.
That's right.
So this Isaiah 54 in verse 16, it says, "Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire," which represents, of course, starting with Esau, Edom, and the same mighty man that we read earlier. Okay, who's very mighty in war, has the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of war. Okay, that's who Yahweh Bashim Yahushua has put into these individuals to create these things. Continuing on, it says, "And that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, which is the will of the Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, and I have created the waster to destroy." So there it is right there. It's just to destroy. You know, once all these different nations come together, which we was getting into in Joel the 3rd chapter, once they come together, they're going to lay waste this place, destroy this place.
Yeah, that's why a few years ago the movie Oppenheimer came out with Robert Oppenheimer when he let off the atomic bomb. He said, "I've created death." So he knew it was his lot to create a massive amount of genocide through the force of the sword. And that atomic weapon, if you look at the TNT or the amount of devastation compared to the nuclear missile, it doesn't compare.
Now going back to that Joel 3 and 10 again. "Beat your plowshares unto swords, and your pruning hooks unto spears." It says, "Let the weak say, I am strong," because once upon a time ago, even throughout history, all right, you can clearly see that some of these other nations that's now rising up and coming against America, once upon a time ago, they was weak. All right. As years progressed, as things got more advanced, and really through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, these other nations have joined together and they created something, and now they're saying, "I'm strong," to go against who? Babylon the Great, man.
Yeah, the Lord is mobilizing these nations. You know, and He's giving them enhancements. You know, He's really kind of dealing with the scientists. You know, to come out with more innovativeness. You know, to build their weaponry. You know, all for the sake of destroying America.
Come.
You got it.
Verse 11, "Assemble yourselves and come." See, it's a great assembly for war. Okay, "All ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thou mighty ones to come down, O Lord Yahweh. Let the heathen be wakened, and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat," which we went into earlier, Yahweh Shaphat, Yahweh Judge. It says, "For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about." Okay, that's what you call the day of Armageddon. That's what you call that war of heaven, that happened in heaven. All right, it's not no mystical story about Satan coming down and, you know, gathering up the other angels that joined along with it. It's not about that. That's a fable. That's a delusion. All right.
Cunningly devised fable.
Yeah, the whole reality is it's going to be an actual war, which is going to be called World War III. When those chariots come back, all right, started with Yahweh Shai. All right, those chariots that, you know, individuals inwardly call UFOs, those are the chariots of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. And they're going to be ready to go against Esau, Edom, starting with Esau, Edom, the main enemy.
You're going to put in straight damage.
Right.
I got a few more.
That's pretty much the point on that.
We could
you want me to go into that
Revelation.
Oh, you got the Revelation 3.
Kind of, I can grab it.
What else you was about to say?
The sickle.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We could go into that. Yeah, cause matter of fact, going back to were you in it again?
You talking about me?
Yeah, that verse.
I believe verse 12. I ended off on verse 12.
Right.
Oh yeah. Verse 13. Salakia.
We could get that.
Yeah.
We'll read 13 and 14.
Okay, yeah, kind of Salakia. Joel 3 and 13. "Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe.
Right.
Come, get you down."
Yeah. So the sickle, which that's the same instrument that the reaper used, like people know it's the Grim Reaper. And that's a cutting instrument, because in the ancient world you would actually use a sickle for chopping during the time of harvest. All right. You know, to pretty much sever the grass or whatnot. And like it says, for the harvest is right, which is pretty much the perfect time for the gathering. You know, and you have the symbol of Russia being the sickle, you know, and Russia is going to be that nation that's going to do a lot of cutting, man. You know, starting now, the casualties of Ukraine is not going down; it's constantly going up, and that's their own people. You know, so how much more with the scriptures speak about even Satan's house being divided against itself? Because the Russians are Edomites too. You know, how can it stand? The Western Edomites against the Eastern Edomites, and it's going to lead to a what they call a nuclear fallout, you know, or a nuclear holocaust. And the only ones that's going to rise from the ashes of this hell is the elect. All right, we're going to be the ones that's going to be delivered from this. Like scripture says, the sad perils. You got it. Though.
Continuing on, it says, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great.
Yeah, and there's going to be the scripture speak about a sacrifice in Basra.
Yeah, in Basra.
Yep, and that talking about Esau. It's going to be a major sacrifice. And Esau, he takes the image of the goat, you know, which the goat is the perfect, one of the animals that were to be sacrificed. You know, in the ancient world, you even have a scapegoat, which it was a form of sacrifice, but they wasn't actually killed. They would put all the sins upon the goat, and they would cast the goat out, and that would pretty much bear the sins of the nation. You know, but Esau being that sacrifice, you know, well, Esau being that goat, he's gonna be the one, like how people, he's likened unto a goat. You know, persona even Matthew, was that the 25th chapter, if I'm not mistaken?
Where
the Lord shall sever the lamb from the goats. That's the righteous from the wicked, and Esau represents the wicked. You know, and he's gonna be cast out into outer darkness, and he's gonna be burned like our Apostle R said, Gehenna style. You got it.
Verse 14. Multitudes in the valley of decision. For the day of the Lord Yahweh is near in the valley of decision.
Yep, the valley of decision, which is in the Middle East.
Yep.
You know, and that's judgment. You know, judgment day as we know it is looming. That's why every time you cut on the news, there's all kind of situations. Speaking of these major nations, and they're not coming into allegiance. Even if it don't matter what party comes into office, whether it's Democrat or Republic, no matter how many type of ambassadors they have that's trying to relinquish tension, the Lord is going to force their hand upon these nations to lock horns.
Yep.
You know, the Lord has already pretty much severed the space of reestablishing that relationship. That's why Russia has officially called America an enemy.
Yep.
All right, so you got it.
Con, that was it. Then you got the sickle.
Yeah, I had a sickle. I had a rip what it means for the Russian, and as well what it means, and as well as the symbol of it. So it says, what does the Russian sickle mean? The hammer and the sickle, communist symbol representing proletarian solidarity between agriculture and industrial workers. It was first adopted during the Russian Revolution at the end of World War I. The hammer represents workers and the sickle represents the peasants. It says, what does sickle mean? An agricultural implement consisting of a curved metal blade with a short handle fitted on a tang. The cutting mechanism, as of a reaper combined or mower, consisting of a bar with a series of cutting elements.
Yeah, and that's really the main point. It's a cutting instrument during in terms of agriculture.
It also has
because agriculture is written all throughout the scriptures, right? And it likens us as agricultural pieces. That's why That's why the scripture says, "Let thy grape be kept." You know, and how the Lord is going to pluck us out of this earth if the Lord willing with those men. You got it, bro.
It says, what does the sickle symbolize? In ancient Greece, sickles were also used to harvest crops and are symbolic of agricultural bounty and changing of seasons.
Yep.
The sickle symbolizes significant.
Yeah, because you want to go ahead and gather before the seasons change.
Twofold, then, as it is both the tool for violent, life-defying action and a tool of harvest and natural plenty.
Yes, it could be interchangeable, because you can use it for gathering, and you can also use it for destruction, so to speak.
That's right.
Yeah, it reminded me of the scripture that the Lord is going to take this place by violence.
Yeah.
When you said violence.
Yeah, with great violence shall that same city Babylon be destroyed. Yeah, you want to get that last one? We'll close with that.
With the Revelation?
Yeah, Revelation 13.
Revelation 13. And with that verse 8.
I thought it was verse 2 or something.
Like it. Yeah, verse 2.
Yeah.
And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were. Oh, Salaki, you want to say something?
Nah, you keep going.
Okay. And his feet were as the feet of a bear.
Right, so the feet represents the bottom. Because even with the leopard started with the Greeks. You know, as Esau says, the history started with the Greeks, and it speaks about the mouth of the lion, which represents Great Britain. So these Edomite constituents being established is still going to fall by the feet of that bear, which Russia represents that bear. Hell, you even have videos of on YouTube and TikTok where Russians actually wrestle with bears. They have a really good not all of them, but it's kind of spiritual. The affinity they have for actual bears and things of that nature. And I think it's a symbol in certain parts of Russia, the actual bear. So that's spiritual. You got it.
In his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and the great authority.
Yeah, so the dragon represents America. That's that deadly woman that's being healed. And this is pretty much the last hurrah.
Yeah.
So like Scripture says, you know, thus with great violence shall that mighty city Babylon be taken. So that's pretty much the point. You had anything, or are you good?
Oh no, I'm good.
Yes. So, you know, that's pretty much the point. You know, hopefully you brothers and a few sisters are edified. You know, we're in beautiful times. You know, we're closer than ever. The scriptures speak about how our salvation is nearer than we believe. So all we have to do is just continue to work and let the Most High work His work. All right. So we're gonna end by giving all praise and glory to Yahweh,
Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Chakodash.
Double honor to the apostle of the great millstone. Shalom, Maki.
Shalom.